Hello guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of me reading Reddit stories and stuff like that. It's going to be really fun today. I do hope you enjoyed today's episode, and with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie. Let's go. Yeah. Posted by user Annoyed Cousin Throw, titled, "Am I the asshole for cutting off my cousin and her mum after they accused me indirectly of stealing at her wedding?" Hey Reddit, I'm in a tough spot and could really use some outside perspective on this situation. So, my cousin Emma and I have never been particularly close, but we've always been civil. When she got engaged in December 2022, I sent her a thoughtful present, which she thanked me for repeatedly. Fast forward to February, and Emma invited me to her wedding in April 2024. Living abroad and starting a new job, I made it clear that I needed advance notice to attend, and thankfully I managed to make it. Emma had asked me to be a part of her wedding entry, and despite our not being very close, I agreed, hoping it would help us build a better relationship. However, just a week before the wedding, I found out that she'd been talking negatively about me and my career as a project manager. It stung, but I didn't want to cause drama before her big day, so I kept quiet. During the wedding weekend, I helped Emma get dressed for her Hindu ceremony, and her mom told me to leave the jewelry, as she would handle it later, so I only packed away the bangles. The entry went smoothly, and I attended the reception without any complaints. However, after the wedding, I chose not to leave a gift, intending to address the hurtful comments privately after the festivities. Days later, Emma asked me about the missing jewelry, and I told her that I hadn't touched it beyond what her mum instructed. Later that day, I saw Emma posting on Facebook about missing jewelry and implying that someone in the family might have taken it. I felt uneasy, especially since her mum and I were the only family members helping her get dressed. Then things escalated when her sister made comments on the post saying we didn't like her anyway. Her mum reached out to me, asking about the bangles, which made me feel like they were singling me out. Even my grandmother called, further cementing that they may have discussed me as a suspect. Finally, another cousin messaged me saying the jewelry was found boxed up in a car, but Emma refuses to retract her accusations online because she's embarrassed. Feeling betrayed, I chose to cut Emma and her mum out of my life, I deleted them from my socials, and I blocked their numbers. Now my grandma is upset, saying I was unfair for not explaining myself. So Reddit, am I the jerk for cutting them off without explanation? Should I have handled the situation differently? Thanks for your insights. Additional information from OP adds to the post, I would like to add that Emma and I are first cousins. Jessica, who told me about the update, is a second cousin who is distant from Emma, so it sounds like this was being discussed with everyone but me. Thankful that Jessica heard it and decided to let me know immediately. OP on if she's received an apology regarding the missing jewelry, OP says, no apologies from their end. All I've heard was that she's embarrassed to pull her posts and say she found it. In the comments, Severe Ad 7761 says, not the asshole. Probably way off, but this was probably a setup. If she doesn't like you and y'all aren't that close, then why ask you along with her mother to help her get ready? Why not her sister? That last-minute invite, it was either a happy coincidence to be able to accuse you, or she set you up, but someone else discovered or found the jewelry where they weren't supposed to be looking. A box in a car that you would think would have already been taken out by now. OP replies, I didn't think about it this way. Her sister was popping in and out of the changing room. I didn't think anything of it at the time. It's sick if they truly wanted to use that against me and not speak up. Even if they post a retraction, I want nothing to do with them. Accusing me and finding it just recently in your car is unacceptable. OP on if her grandma has a favorite grandchild because of what happened. OP says, Emma is grandma's favorite by the way, if you couldn't tell. Not the asshole. Sounds like exactly the kind of people to go no contact with. Personally, I would shame them on their social media and then block, but that's just me. Also, the talking negatively about your job sounds like jealousy to me. Keep them out of your life. Not the asshole. I'd go on social media with, heard you found the missing jewelry in your car, or wherever it is found. When were you going to let people on social media know, since you were very public with your allegations? Heard you found your missing jewelry in your own car of all places. So crazy. I also heard that you were too ashamed of your wildly off-base accusations to apologize. Just wondered if you'd at least clear it up on social media. You know, since you were so public about your accusations, it seems like you should rescind them publicly as well. And then block her so she can't delete the comment off of her page, and it remains there for everyone else to see. Cutting her and her mother out of your life was the proper decision because they slandered you online and won't admit that they made mistakes. If Granny still can't see it, perhaps she should be given some time off too. I agree with everyone there. I don't see any other reason to keep them in your life. Do the post, don't do the post if you want to. It's up to you how much shit you want to cause within your family unit, and if you can deal with the consequences of people taking sides and doubling down and attacking you for it, regardless of what the real truth is. It's insane that you can post, a clapback like that, being like, hey, the truth was, it was actually in your car the whole time, and people would still take her side. I don't like that people do that, but that's reality. This may just be one of those choose your fights moments, OP, and I don't think it'd be worth to clap back like that, but it'd be good content. And now, onto the updates. I read through the majority of messages received, and I agree, I should have confronted it. Last night, I called Grandma and Emma on three-way, asking about the jewelry that was conveniently found in a car. Emma said that wasn't for me to find out, as she has only told her mother and Grandma. Obviously a lie because Jessica heard about it and passed it to me. She also lives abroad and isn't close to Emma. Grandma then said, well, it's material and it's found. We don't have a long time here. Let's all get along. I responded, no thank you. I needed a public apology because I blindly believed Emma and I had a good relationship. I even heard that she made comments about my job, which I wanted to address after the wedding. Emma confirmed the comments about talking shit, my job, and her sister's comments, but is sticking to her guns about the jewelry. I mentioned to her that I was posting on Facebook about the jewelry and will attach screenshots to it, and that I wanted nothing further to do with Emma since she was not remorseful and is proud of disliking me for whatever reason. Lesson learned, thanks everyone. In the comments, Flinders and Trim says, sorry that so many people in your family are horrible. You deserve better. I could see how much you cared by willing to travel for a cousin that you weren't even close with. You hoped you would get closer to, and how you reacted to their bullying. You were better off without them. Do make sure to get your side of the story to others in the extended family, because you can bet that everyone involved, possibly with your grandmother seeing and not actively shutting down, will be telling a story to them where you are the bad guy. OP replies, that's what really hurts. I was hoping she was sincere about inviting me and asking me to participate. When she got engaged, I even sent her a present incorporating her interests, and she was so appreciative. Or so she seemed. It sucks knowing that I meant basically nothing. I was hurt that they never really liked me anyway, and made fun of my job as a project manager at an engineering firm. I have never done anything to them to warrant this. It's just confusing and hurtful. However, the band-aid is off and life will continue without them. OP on sharing her information with the extended family on social media about what really happened at the wedding, OP says, I'm posting it this evening regardless of if she takes it down or not. Jessica gave her blessings for me to use her message as proof, so I'm not playing around. I am not a thief. I don't care if you like me or not. You are not going to get away with that. OP proceeding how she dealt with the family talking badly behind her back, and Emma's background on saying bad things about her, OP says, that's my thing. Why are you embarrassed? You were emboldened to post about it and clearly discuss it offline with my name in it, which is how it got back to me. Emma does not have very many friends. She's one of those very religious and conservative girls. Does not drink, smoke, party, have multiple partners, as she's been with the same person for 10 years, has good grades, etc. According to other cousins, she's very much about the optics and very judgmental. Life will be perfectly fine without her in it, and I'm looking forward to responses on my post clearing my name. OP responds on how her grandma was upset with her cutting off the family and accusing her for ruining Emma's day. OP says, correct. Grandma was one of the people questioning me, even though I gave the same answers, and wants me to explain why I'm cutting off my cousin and to dismiss it because it was found. How is that fair to me after I've been accused and had my name dragged through the mud? Yeah, I think, you know what, this is one of those situations then where absolutely you shouldn't be the bigger person, OP. I think it's perfectly reasonable for you to fire back and really put this back in their faces. I understand that what I said before was like, yeah, pick your battles. Pick this battle. If you let her get away with this and you just let it simmer out and let her win, it's only going to get worse for you and other people in the future. You might as well go down punching, I think. In this situation, I say, be the bigger person by being the giant that just steps on her. I think that's a good idea. And now, onto the final update. So after consulting with an attorney friend and compiling all relevant evidence, including screenshots and messages, we took the step of sending a legal letter to my cousin. Additionally, I made a post on Facebook, tagging family friends who attended the event, the priests who officiated, and even her neighbors. Yup, my petty ass went the extra mile to bring awareness of the situation. Important announcement regarding Emma's wedding. Hello everyone in the Brown family. I hope this message finds you well. I feel compelled to address a matter that has been weighing on my mind since Emma's wedding last April. Firstly, I want to express my gratitude to Emma for inviting me to be a part of her special day. It was an honor to participate, and I was genuinely touched by the opportunity. However, recent events have left me deeply disheartened. It has come to my attention that there have been discussions, both prior to and following the wedding, where unkind remarks were made about me and my profession. While this was hurtful, I chose to handle the situation delicately and intended to discuss it with Emma after the wedding to gain clarity. Despite the hurtful comments, I remained committed to supporting Emma on her wedding day. I assisted her with changing outfits and took care of her belongings as requested. Regrettably, shortly after the wedding, I was unfairly implicated in the disappearance of some jewelry. Subsequent discussions with Emma revealed that there were private conversations insinuating my involvement, which left me feeling unfairly targeted. It was only through the disclosure from a third party that the truth about the jewelry's whereabouts emerged. I confronted Emma about these revelations, hoping for resolution and understanding. However, her response was dismissive, and she refused to acknowledge the hurtful nature of her actions. Instead, she chose to maintain hurtful social media posts, causing further distress. In light of these events, I have made the decision to distance myself from Emma and her immediate family. My conscience is clear, and I refuse to tolerate such unjust treatment. Furthermore, I want to assure you all that I am taking the necessary steps to clear my name. I am in contact with legal counsel to draft a letter and seek exoneration from these false accusations. I share this message not out of spite or animosity, but to set the record straight and reclaim my integrity. P.S. The missing jewelry was found by her mother in the car. For those interested in the details, I've compiled all relevant screenshots and supporting information in a Google Drive. Feel free to click the link to access it. The end. Thank you everyone who supported, gave advice, and comforted me. Looking forward to going on my vacation tomorrow while Emma spends the next few days dealing with this. And edit, as of 8 a.m. EST, Emma has still not rescinded those Facebook posts. In the comments, Crafty Reflection 594 says, "That is awesome. Definitely follow through with the legal stuff. I would imagine she's going to call your bluff and leave up the post." OP says, "I think with the scrutiny and the letter, she may fold. It's a lot to deal with. However, it's not okay to withhold information to clear someone's name just because you don't like them." Yeah, very impressive, OP. In love with how you included the neighbors too. Perfection. OP says, "I wanted all of them to side-eye her and her perfect facade. I'm not a perfect person. I'm not letting you get away with trying to label me as a thief when I had good intentions the whole entire time. Now you get to be miserable on your honeymoon and deal with questions." OP on the birth order with Emma and how her grandma planned to distribute her possessions. OP says, "That's the funny part. She's actually 4 years younger than I am. I have never been a fan of fighting for land and jewelry. I have always told my grandma that I wanted one of her saris and a pair of her earrings, if she was okay with it. Even if I didn't get the earrings, the sari would be enough. Just something to remember her by." If Emma and her husband are active in their religion, tagging the priest could make for some uncomfortable confrontations at their house of worship. Brava, OP. Also, step on tiny Legos, Grandma. It's interesting who she chooses as needing to be the bigger person so that everyone can get along. This is why you can't give Grandma any opinions. Let her be a bitter old woman in the corner. Fair enough, OP. Well played for that one. I very much respect the dedication to your craft, and I didn't know that you had that dog in you, but you definitely do have that dog in you. Will be interesting to see if she ever does take the Facebook post down now, but as it stands, it's great that you've cleared your name and hopefully nothing happens again, but we'll see. Our next post is by user Complaint Otherwise 20, titled, "Would I be the asshole if I completely ignore my neighbor?" So I, 21 female, had a knock at the door from a man who lives 5 doors down. I've been living on this street and have known him since I was 14. He is currently in his late 50s. For some insight, I have quite bad anxiety and do not leave the house really unless necessary. He was knocking quite loud, and I looked out the window and saw that it was him, and since this was one of the only times that I've ever really had him knock on the door, I assumed it was urgent and I answered. He asked me on a date tonight and I said no, and he asked for tomorrow and I said no, and then he went on to say to let me know, and I didn't know what to say. 10 minutes later, he came back to the door, but I couldn't get myself to answer, so I stuck my head out the window. He started shouting how it was on him and he would pay for everything and to not worry and how he'll come see me again. I'll be completely honest, I didn't know how to respond, so I just said, thanks. He knows my mum better than he knows me, so it kinda creeps me out, the fact that he asked me out when he has known me since I was 14. My house is a safe space for me, so the fact that he came to my home and asked me out at my front door has just thrown me off. I don't know how to turn him down and feel comfortable. I was honestly thinking of just ignoring him. Would I be the asshole? In the comments, yikes, this neighbor was really inappropriate, and his persistence after you said no is creepy and aggressive. If you feel safe doing so, tell him no without any conditions or explanation is worthwhile. For example, I don't want to date you or hang out with you, and I will not change my mind. Also, consider telling your parents and letting them communicate that. If you don't feel safe doing so, then ignoring him is fine. You are not the asshole. And OP says, yes, he's older than my mum and closer to my grandfather's age than mine. I'm going to tell my mum as soon as she finishes her shift. Thank you all so much. Not the asshole, but just leaving isn't the way to go. Next time he turns up, and he will, tell him that you're not interested in dating him, and if he continues to harass you, that you'll take it further. Essentially, if you do not tell him to stop contacting you, you will have no legal recourse. OP says, I tried to tell him by refusing the first 2-day offers. It's hard to be very firm and demanding not to contact me when I don't know how he'll react, especially when I'm the only one home. But I will try. Thank you so much. All these people telling you that you need to directly say no and don't come back, I wouldn't until you're not alone in the house. OP replies, thank you, I won't. I don't plan on having any contact with him without either my mum present or through her. Do you have a way to see who it is at the door without them seeing you? Absolutely, you would be not the asshole to ignore him. There is no social expectation that you should be polite to a much older man harassing you in what should be a safe space. And OP replies, no, sadly. We are planning on getting a Ring doorbell, but right now, if I want to see who's at the door, they can see me too. That's a great idea though. I'm probably going to do that. Thank you. That sucks. I'm really sorry that you have to deal with this. I also have high anxiety and don't leave much. My home is my safe space. To have someone invade my space like that would be miserable. I feel for you. Absolutely not the asshole. OP says, thank you, I appreciate it. Honestly, since it's happened, I haven't been able to settle. Any sound, and I'm freaking out. I'm hoping when my mum gets home from work, I'll be able to relax a little. Not the asshole. As others have said, do not open the door. Be direct and say you were not interested. I don't agree with people saying to politely decline. The man is a creep, and women have been conditioned to be polite when we absolutely should not. Be assertive and direct. I recommend that you read The Gift of Fear. And OP says, thank you, I'll take a look at it. I'm struggling between the being polite or assertive due to how close he lives. It's a scary choice to make. Just remember, being assertive isn't impolite. It's just clear communication with no room for misinterpretation, since he obviously hasn't taken your no for an answer. Also, I will add my thoughts regarding ignoring people like this. You don't know what's in his head, and being passive or ignoring may be a huge mistake. If someone with bad intentions knocks on your door and you don't answer, they may try to enter. If someone knocks on my door when I'm not expecting company, I do not open the door. I loudly say, "Who is it?" It's usually a salesman or a missionary, and I reply, "Not interested." And that is all. Good luck. And OP says, thank you. I honestly didn't think of that. I honestly thought the first 2 times I said no, I was being quite assertive, but I guess he didn't think so. Or he just didn't want to take no for an answer. He's also close to your grandfather's age and has known you since you were 14. Ew, disgusting. No, get away from me, you freak. What in the goddamn is going on here? I'd be like, no, get away from the door, and if you knock again, I'm calling the police. Stay away from me, freak. But yeah, putting myself in your shoes, where your house is your safe space and someone continues to intrude that is very much not welcome, yeah, I would be scared, I would have high anxiety, and just be like, what is your problem? Mum, help, please get him away. I think really your only options are to continue being assertive and get your mum involved. I think that should work. And now, on to the updates. Thanks to everyone who has given me suggestions and helped me so far. I haven't seen him this morning, and his car is gone, so I assume he's gone to work. I was able to talk to my mum, and she was annoyed, to say the least. We have come up with a plan for the time being. I won't be answering the door from now on unless I am notified that someone is coming. We are going to order a Ring doorbell so that I can check who is at the door. When my mum sees him, she plans on confronting him and telling him that I am not interested and that he is being highly inappropriate. I'm still on edge, especially since he said he will come back, but I feel a little better now, and I'm hoping the only other update will be him leaving me alone, but thanks again. I'll update again after my mum confronts him. Thanks again. Update 2. Honestly, I didn't think that I would be updating this fast. My mum hasn't been able to speak to him yet. He still wasn't home from work before she left for work. I have since had a note through the letterbox from him, basically giving me all of his information and saying it's hard for him and he wants to talk. I will update again if any more happens, but at the moment I'm just trying to keep to my bedroom. Final update. Well, hopefully the final update. He has knocked on the door a few times over the last few days. My mum was home for one of them. It was early hours in the morning, and he decided because I wasn't getting back to him, he would come really early in the morning. My mum was extremely annoyed, to say the least, and had an argument with him. I could only hear really what she was saying, and she just told me not to worry and hopefully he would stop now. He hasn't tried anything so far, but yeah. My mum basically called him a creep and some other things. In the comments, Worldbound0514 says, "A creep like that isn't going to go away easily. This may not be over." Ignoring as many clear rejections as the neighbor displays a disturbing lack of inhibition. This definitely wasn't the end, and it really makes me worry about what he was planning back when she was a minor. I wonder whether he's got early onset dementia. The relevant potential characteristics here are hypersexualism and lowered inhibition, It can also happen to those with Parkinson's disease and certain brain tumors. The police need to be clued into this situation, and I'd certainly be telling my neighbors to keep an eye out, but not to be vigilantes. Yeah, an older man in my family got grabby at one point pretty suddenly, and it kept getting worse, up until he collapsed and was taken to the hospital completely delirious. Spent a week unable to recognize anyone, got put on Parkinson meds because early stages, and it just went away completely, like a switch had been flipped. He was the nursing home sweetheart for the rest of his life, completely surreal in a way. They explained to us that it was a known side effect of Parkinson's. I remember having a panic attack because he was invited to our house for the first Christmas after, which was lovely actually. But my strongest memory of him is the way his face lit up when I visited him in the hospital at the end, and how sweet he was whenever we would visit him in the home. Like, I took that man to the doctors, etc. alone because he became completely safe to be around after getting medicated. That being said, none of this excuses the behavior that OP is subjected to and the fact that he is essentially terrorizing her. It's much more likely that he's just an effing creep. I guess it depends on what you mean by excuses. I think elderly person gets dementia and is no longer in control of their behaviors is pretty much an excuse, if that's what's happening. And when I hear no excuse, I think you deserve to be punished or judged. No point in judging or punishing a demented person because they can't learn. You have to prevent it, but you can't put that responsibility on them if their brain isn't working correctly. This made my skin crawl. How is pounding on someone's door not terrifying? I'm glad the mother could step in and tell him off. It seems like that is a lot less risky than her doing it. Too many men intimidate, harass, hurt, or kill women that say no for this to be entirely safe in either way though. Remember her comments? Quote, "It's hard to be very firm and demand him not to contact me when I don't know how he'll react, especially when I'm the only one home." She's the one who was faced with him, and her senses are telling her that he is unpredictable. She should trust her instincts. She definitely should, and it sounds like she was at least partly able to. Must be terrifying to live next to him after this. The whole, just be direct, be assertive, tell him no loudly thing always irritates me because women will literally get killed for saying no. The reason why we are socialized to be as polite and deferential as possible when rejecting a guy is so that he hopefully won't choose to assault or kill us, and sometimes even that doesn't work. Yes, we shouldn't have to be overly polite or dance around it or have to make up a boyfriend or husband, but safest is best. People really need to look up when women say no or r/when women refuse, and think twice before they advise someone to be more assertive, direct, or rude when turning down a guy. Yeah, it's very much eye-opening to, spend time with a woman and see the behavior and the looks that men give them and just how upfront men can be towards women as well. I myself, when I exist in society, am invisible. I don't get any interactions from the public. But then I'm with a woman and all of a sudden, I'll be with her in public and they will come up to you and say the most insane shit. And you'll just get catcalled when you're with someone. These people don't have any shame. Do they see it as a game to just do this? I wouldn't put it past them with the behavior that I've experienced to just come up and assault someone, especially with the man there as well. You'd think that that is just mosquito repellent, but apparently it's not. I don't blame OP for spending more time in their safe space because being out there amongst those people is it's not a good feeling. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.